What's going on, everybody? RJ Ochoa here from SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. Hope all is well wherever you are. Hope you're happy, safe, healthy, and that you are excited for some 53-man roster talk. Full disclosure, I'm recording this video for you on Monday, August the, 19th, 2024. It's almost 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. My dogs are asleep. The office is ready to go. And I always tell you when we're recording it because anything can change. As an example, earlier today for me, yesterday for you, because this is going out on Tuesday morning, CD Lamb had a post with I think it was actually a Photoshop of Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire pulling down the symbiote suit. I mean, it was just this crazy day on the internet. As of now, there seems to be no real indication as to what the meaning behind it was. But the internet had a lot of fun with it for a few hours, and maybe, just maybe, something has happened over the course of the night. I don't know, but it's the time of year where anything can change on a moment's notice. So I always tell you, and I always promise that whenever anything important happens, you will have an answer, you will have a discussion, you will have analysis right here on the Blogging the Boys YouTube channel. Make sure you do subscribe. We are the most subscribed to individual team channel across the SB Nation network, something we are very proud of, something I am very proud of. Thanks to all of you who managed to give us some of your time. I promise to continue to earn it. We are on the march to 23,000 subscribers. The goal is to hit 30. I'm going to tell you that this football season, to hit 30,000 subscribers here on the BTB YouTube channel. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe, like the video, turn on notifications. All that stuff helps us out a lot. Tell a friend. Also, hey, have a nice day. That's what I want you to have as well. Also, a shout out to our new subscribers, obviously picking up some people jumping in for the football season. Hello, hi, love you. My name is RJ Ochoa. If you want more of me, you can hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Threads at RJ Ochoa, TikTok, RJ.Ochoa, email rj.ochoa@sbnation.com, or leave a comment down below, and I'll do my best to get to those as well. All right, we are here to discuss my latest 53-man roster prediction following the second week of the preseason for the Dallas Cowboys. Had a video doing this last week. I know I left off DeMarvion Overshown, and then I messed up on the graphic that I made for Instagram, and I accidentally left off, or I think I left off Damone Clark here, and I left off Overshown there because I was freaking out. It was crazy. So I have done my best to make sure I don't leave anybody off. Because that would be bad. But just, hey, that's kind of a peek at how difficult this whole process can be. Now, heads up, we are writing an article. I am writing an article about this at bloggingtheboys.com, and it features predictions from various Blogging the Boys staffers. Obviously, you can see mine as well. But so you can head on over there. You can see this list in its entirety, or you can follow me, like I said, on Instagram and TikTok. I'm posting a graphic compilation there, obviously, of my prediction as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. Here is my latest Dallas Cowboys 53-man roster. And as you can see, this is the super secret Excel document or Google sheet that we use to fill it out as a staff. So the BTBer, that's me. RJ, hi, hello. Nice to meet you once again. Quarterbacks, nothing changed for me here. Got Dak Prescott, Cooper Rush, and Trey Lance. And last week, there were some people who felt like, oh, just cut Trey. He stinks, whatever, blah, blah. Even if you did feel that way, although Trey obviously played well against the Raiders. And I explained this in the video last week. The rules of NFL roster construction in our current moment sort of almost force you to carry three quarterbacks, because you would be stupid not to, because you can dress another one on game day without counting towards your active 46-man game day roster. It's just bad business to not carry a third quarterback, is ultimately my point. So I've got those three quarterbacks. I have not changed the backfield. And I feel badly about this because I really want to carry Deuce Vaughn. I really want to. I was kind of convinced for a moment, at least, on Saturday night. But I don't see how it's possible right now. Now, maybe I go shy at tight end, and maybe that's the spot, but you tell me. I mean, if that, he might be my 54th player right now, 55th player, something like that. But obviously Zeke, Elliott, Rico Dowdle, I think we're the most confident in. They're not in danger of not making the team. But that being said, Royce Freeman, I thought, also looked good. I know we make a big deal about anytime Deuce Vaughn looks good, but I really thought that Royce Freeman looked solid as well. Hunter Lipke obviously has got some tight end versatility, that cowboy back position that we saw Blake Jarwin play for a little bit when he was with the Cowboys. Those are my four. That's my backfield. I know it says RB, but it is the backfield nonetheless. I do have a change at wide receiver. I've taken off Jalen Cropper, which was difficult because I think we're rooting for him. And this is always a difficult exercise. To be very clear, I don't enjoy saying that I don't think somebody is going to make this roster, and I don't think someone's going to fulfill their NFL dream. It's just the reality of this time of year where, creating what we think the roster could look like. And we're certainly wishing the best for anyone who does and doesn't make the team, that they can have success wherever that ultimately is. I know that CD's not around, and I mentioned the Spider-Man thing, whatever, but he's going to be on the roster. I think we're kind of manifesting at this point. Brandon Cooks, Jalen Tolbert, those are the ones, obviously, that are clear-cut and obvious. Jalen Brooks, I think, is wide receiver 4. If you want to call Kevontae Turpin that's fine. We'll see. I'm kind of I really need to see more of it to believe they're actually going to use Turpin on offense. I know that he had a couple cups of coffee there on Thanksgiving Day game touchdown last year, but obviously a valued member of the special teams group. Those are my 5. And generally, I'm of the belief that the Cowboys are going to carry 6 wide receivers, but I just, Jalen Cropper had the fumble, and maybe that's overreacting. Maybe this is overreacting, but these are my 5 for now. And again, this is a constantly under construction sort of process. At tight end, nothing changed for me. I know that people are ready to take Peyton Hendershot off of this list, and I understand that. But here's my opinion. Here's my take. Here's my stance. Obviously, Jake Ferguson's the tight end 1 on this team. Obviously, Luke Schoonmaker's making the team as a second-year, second-round draft pick. Okay. Just because you're carrying Luke Schoonmaker, and you have to, right? Because he's a second-year, second-round draft pick, does not mean that you can trust him right away, right? Do you trust Luke Schoonmaker? Because I don't. So the reality of the situation is that the Cowboys are going to ultimately still have to carry a second tight end that can garner some level of trust with them. Is that John Stevens Jr. right now? I'm not going to show you everybody else's 53-man roster on here because, hey, got to keep some stuff, in the article. This is just my roster. But that being said, you can't if we power rank to the tight ends on the team by trustworthiness. By the way, I can't wait for power ranks to come back. I'll be writing those every week this season for the site, as I always have. But if we power ranked tight ends on the roster by kind of trust factor, ability, whatever, I think Peyton Hendershot would be too. You can't dismiss him right now just because Luke Schoonmaker was a second round pick a year ago. So that's why I'm carrying 4 tight ends. I have 10, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 offensive linemen. No real change here from me. Tyler, let me scoot this over for you a little bit here. Let me go to the other monitor. Let's move on over. Actually, let's stop right about there. That's cool. Tyler Guyton, Tyler Smith. I have put Cooper Beebe in at the starting center position, just so everyone is clear. Zach Martin, Terrence Steele, those are your 5. Brock Hoffman, incredibly valuable interior offensive line point of depth, as is TJ Bass. Autumn Richards, we'll see if he's the kind of swing tackle to be in this Chuma Edoga-less world. And by the way, the temporary Chuma Edoga-less world, this is the 53-man roster as I see it in actuality. And I talked about this last week. I write it every time I write an article about this. When the Cowboys first turn in, I'll put myself on the big screen here 1 second. When they first turn in their 53-man roster, soon enough, it will look a little bit different. It will look a little bit weird. And Trent Sieg probably won't be on it. Brian Anger may not be on it. These specialists or whatever, because the Cowboys have to carry players temporarily to stash them. I mean, there's all these sort of roster gymnastics that they have to partake in. So this is what I think the 53-man roster will look like as far as getting ready for week 1 against the Cleveland Browns, obviously barring any kind of trade or acquisition between now and then. And that obviously is something we're going to get to in a moment. But depth along the offensive line, Brock Hoffman, TJ Bass, Autumn Richards, we'll see if he's that tackle, swing tackle like we talked about. Matt Willetsko and Josh Ball been playing kind of, decent football as of late. So that's my offense. Moving on along the defensive line. Obviously, you got Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, Marshawn Nealon, who just looks incredible. Anytime I'm in front of a camera or a microphone or creating something or whatever, I just can't help but talk about Marshawn Nealon and how awesome he looks. He looks amazing. If it weren't for Tyler Guyton, I would just be over the top excited for Nealon as far as the rookie draft class is concerned. But Guyton's obviously been amazing, and Cooper Beebe looks great. The whole draft class looks like it really can contribute something. Maris Liufau popping last week as well, and Kalen Carson goes without saying that he's been dominating in the secondary. We've added, as you can see, I've added Jordan. Everybody has, just for the record, Jordan Phillips and Carl Lawson. It's really funny and ironic that those 2 acquisitions happened like right after the article went live last week, because of course it would. But Jordan Phillips, Carl Lawson, newbies, they're going to make the roster. Chauncey Golston for me, Mozzie Smith, Osa Odigizua. Junior Fehoko was an odd man out for me here, just because now you got Carl Lawson and Jordan Phillips. You've established points of depth, as far as your interior, outside, kind of portions of your defensive line. Again, it's just the unfortunate nature that math is in terms of assembling a 53-man roster. I have both DeMarvion Overshown and Damone Clark on the 53-man roster at the linebacker position. Like I said, I messed it up last week between the video and between the Instagram and TikTok posts. It was a very stressful thing for me. So I have them both there. My bad. Apologies. We're good. I think that kind of goes without saying. It's pretty chalk. Eric Kendricks, Overshown Clark, and Maris Liufau. Again, the rookie really popped. He's actually on the cover of this video. I don't know how I would say if, but you're watching it on YouTube. By the way, fingers crossed still on the podcast front. We are working very hard to try to figure out a podcast solution before the regular season begins. Trust me, it is something I am working on every single day. I promise you, because I know it means a lot to you. It means a lot to me. But moving on at corner, no change here for me. I almost took Eric Scott Jr. off, but I don't think you can trust Andrew Booth entirely yet. Although he played really well. I mean, we talked about it. He was a stock up for me. Just made some tough tackles against the Raiders. And obviously, Kalen Carson's played well, but he is a rookie. So I think you do have to carry Eric Scott Jr. just as a point of some sort of serviceable depth. So carrying 6 corners. This is where I owe an apology. I'm going to take my hat off because this was not an oversight. I left Wanye Thomas off of my safety group last week. It was tough. It wasn't malicious. It was a decision though that I made. It wasn't an accident. So I'm fessing up. I'm owning up to it. And maybe I was a little bit, kind of in the moment after Marquise Bell played so well against the Rams. That's my bad. I apologize. Okay. I was wrong. You all were right. I'm ugly. You all are beautiful. I'm stupid. You all are smart. That's my bad. I'm sorry. It's all good. Didn't mean to bump the mic there. Wanye's back on the roster. That's the real change here at the safety position. And the specialists, of course, Brandon Aubrey, Brian Anger, Trent Sieg, and CJ Goodwin. Some of us, if you do read the article here, by the way, at bloggingtheboys.com, some people, some BTBers have put CJ Goodwin in the cornerback position. And it just kind of depends how you want to evaluate him. If you look on our lads or DallasCowboys.com, something like that, he's generally where the corners go because that's his official designation, kind of like Kevontae Turpin, even though he does play more wide receiver than Goodwin does corner. He's more of a specialist than anything else. So that's that. That's my 53-man roster as it stands. I would love to hear what you think, where it's awesome, where it's dumb, how it's perfect, how it's not, et cetera, et cetera. If you accept my apology about Wanye Thomas, again, it's my bad. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's the last one because soon enough, we're going to kind of be getting to the actual 53-man roster. It is a very busy time of the year in a very fun way. It's an exciting time of the year. I know that the CD stuff, we want to be taken care of, the Dak stuff. Some of us want it to be taken care of. The Micah stuff would be great to have it be taken care of. The football stuff is not kind of happening. It's all up in the air. Soon enough, the Cowboys are going to pack up, camp in Oxnard and return to Frisco, and everything will feel even more normal in that sense. So we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer. There are fewer than 3 weeks to go until things get going for real. Week 1 against the Cleveland Browns. And I cannot wait to be with you every single step of the way. In order to make sure that I am with you in a convenient sense, please subscribe here to the Blog and the Boys YouTube channel. That would make me very, very, very happy. Who am I? I was going to say, who am I? Who am me? But I messed that up. So that's my bad. But I'm RJ Ochoa. You could follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Threads at RJ Ochoa, on TikTok at rj.ochoa. If you want to send me an email, that's the same way, rj.ochoa@sbnation.com, or you can leave a comment down below, and I will do my very best to get to each and every single one of you. Appreciate those of you who love to interact here. It really does warm my heart. It means a lot to me. So shout out to all of you. Hope you have yourselves a wonderful day. As always, we're going to keep coming, here on the YouTube channel with different things, et cetera, et cetera. And like I told you in our post-game show, and by the way, working on trying to make those live again. I'm working very hard for you all because I know they mean a lot to you. They mean a lot to me. So I'm working very hard to make sure that our post-game shows can be live, but no promises. We will see. But something that I can promise is coming back this week on Friday, the Madden simulations. We've done this for a few years now. Every Friday, generally, ahead of a Dallas Cowboys game, we run a Madden simulation. It's no involvement from me whatsoever. Nobody's playing the game. It's literally how the computer thinks that game is going to go. It's right kind of often in a weird way, not always relative to the score, but we have had instances where the actual score is completely and totally accurate. So those are returning this Friday. And like I told you in the post-game show, the simulation we're going to run this week is going to be the Cowboys and Chargers because that's the preseason game. However, Madden, for all the wonderful and nostalgic memories that we have of it, is kind of a broken game. We can all admit that, right? We're all adult enough to have that conversation. And that being said, that being the case, it is not smart or intuitive enough for me to say, hey, play Cooper Rush for one drive. Hey, play Trey Lance for the rest of it, or blah, blah, blah. This isn't, the most advanced video game logic in the world here. So I'm going to do my best to construct it as best I can to best represent what we think is going to unfold at AT&T Stadium on Saturday afternoon between the Dallas Cowboys and the Los Angeles Chargers. So be on the lookout for that and everything else that's going to be coming out in between now and then. Be on the lookout for what is hopefully a wonderful day for you, hopefully a wonderful meal, hopefully wonderful, entertainment in your life. Besides this, of course, I hope you have just the best day ever, and I'm really grateful that you gave us some of your time. Like I said, I plan to continue to earn it. Thank you so much for hanging out, everybody. We will see you next time.